Walk into the moisture control aisle of any hardware store, and you will see the same promise in a dozen different packages. A small plastic tub filled with white crystals, ready to rescue a damp closet, basement, boat, or camper. You peel off the lid, leave it in a corner, and return weeks later to find the crystals gone and a pool of liquid underneath. Then the instructions tell you to throw the container away and buy another. That routine feels normal until you learn what is actually inside. Welcome to Buried Fixes. The active ingredient in many of those disposable tubs is calcium chloride, an inexpensive mineral salt also sold in larger bags for moisture control, pool maintenance, and dicing. Prices vary by location, grade, and package size, but buying the raw material can cost far less per pound than repeatedly purchasing branded disposable containers. The surprising part is not that calcium chloride absorbs moisture. Manufacturers openly rely on that chemistry. The surprising part is how simple the working system really is. Crystals held above a collection chamber, with enough space below for the salty liquid they create as they pull water vapor from the air. There is no compressor, fan, pump, drain hose, or electrical cord. The salt attracts moisture on its own, gradually dissolving into brine as it works. But this is not a miracle capable of drying every room forever, and treating it that way can cause spills, corrosion, or disappointment. Used correctly, however, it can become a quiet, low-cost tool for protecting small enclosed spaces. Today, we will build a safer version, explain the chemistry behind it, and show where this trick works and where it does not. Before building anything, understand what damp air is doing while it sits unnoticed. That musty smell is only the warning. Moisture feeds mold behind furniture, softens cardboard boxes, stains books, warps wood, corrodes tools, and leaves leather shoes covered in spots. Inside a boat or camper, trapped humidity can damage fabrics, wiring connections, and metal hardware before spring arrives. The measurement is relative humidity, or RH. It describes how much water vapor the air holds compared with the maximum it could hold at that temperature, according to the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency. Indoor humidity should remain below 60%, and ideally between 30 and 50% when conditions allow. Above that range, condensation becomes more likely, and mold receives the moisture it needs to grow. A hygrometer can reveal whether the room is humid instead of judging by smell alone. Take a reading before adding an absorber, then check again over several days. That gives you evidence that the setup is actually helping. But first identify the source. If rainwater is entering through a wall, a pipe is leaking, or the floor floods, removing vapor will not solve the problem. Stop liquid water first. Passive absorbers are designed for lingering airborne moisture, not an active leak. The reason this simple setup works is a property called deliquescence. Calcium chloride does not merely hold a little moisture on its surface. It attracts water vapor from the surrounding air, forms hydrated salts, and eventually dissolves into the water it has collected. That is why dry pellets first become glossy, then clump together, and finally seem to disappear into a clear liquid. Because the process depends on temperature, humidity, surface area, and airflow. No guide can promise a universal collection rate. A unit may perform well inside a sealed cabinet, yet make little difference in a basement. Think of it as local moisture control, not room-wide climate machinery. Silica gel works differently. It traps moisture within a porous solid and usually remains solid as it becomes saturated. Calcium chloride can collect more water under humid conditions, but the trade-off is obvious. It creates mobile, corrosive brine. Your container must therefore be stable, deep, and difficult to knock over. Start by checking the product label. Look for calcium chloride pellets or flakes with a clearly stated composition, and read the safety data sheet when one is available. Do not assume every bag of ice melt is suitable. Some blends contain sodium chloride, magnesium chloride, abrasives, dyes, or corrosion inhibitors. For this project, choose a straightforward calcium chloride product rather than an unknown mixture. Never substitute pool chlorine or calcium hypochlorite. That is a different chemical with different hazards. Next, find 2 compatible plastic containers. The lower container will collect liquid. The upper one must sit securely above it and allow brine to drain through small holes. A commercial moisture absorber housing can be refilled if its structure remains sound, or you can use 2 sturdy plastic tubs designed to nest together. Drill several small drainage holes in the base of the upper tub, then test the fit while both containers are empty. It should not wobble, tilt, or fall into the reservoir. Pour a shallow layer of calcium chloride pellets into the upper chamber. 2 or 3 inches is usually enough for a practical trial. Overfilling adds weight and makes spills harder to control. Do not pack the holes tightly. Air must reach the crystals, and the liquid needs a clear path downward. Place the assembled unit inside a larger glass or chemical-resistant plastic tray. The tray is not decoration. It is your backup if the reservoir cracks, overflows, or gets bumped. Keep the entire setup away from metal shelving, finished wood, electrical equipment, children, and pets. Calcium chloride and concentrated brine can irritate eyes and skin, while chloride solutions can accelerate corrosion. Finally, position a digital hygrometer nearby and record the starting humidity. Close the closet, cabinet, boat compartment, or storage room as you normally would. Over the following days, compare the readings at roughly the same temperature and time. The crystals should become damp, and liquid should appear below. That visible brine is evidence of captured moisture, but the hygrometer tells you whether the space itself is actually becoming drier. As the unit works, inspect it regularly. The pellets may look wet within days, but collection speed will change with humidity and temperature. Service the unit before the brine reaches the upper chamber. Wear gloves and eye protection. Move the tray to a protected work surface and avoid splashing. If contact occurs, rinse the affected skin or eyes immediately with water and follow the product label. Do not pour concentrated brine onto plants, soil, lawns, metal drains, septic systems, or natural waterways. Chloride can damage vegetation, accelerate corrosion, and add salt to fresh water. Disposal requirements vary, so check the manufacturer's instructions and local waste guidance. Never store the liquid in a drink bottle or any unlabeled container. Now for the claim that makes this trick sound almost magical. Can the calcium chloride be reused? Chemically, yes. Heating can remove water from calcium chloride solution and hydrated crystals, restoring a more concentrated or drier material. Industrial liquid desiccant systems use regeneration for that reason. But this does not mean that boiling collected brine in a household oven is a safe, universal shortcut. As the solution concentrates, it can become hot, spit, crust over, and contaminate cookware or food contact surfaces. Chloride brine can also attack unsuitable metals. The temperature and time needed depend on the solution, equipment, product purity, and final hydrate being produced. A casual instruction such as, bake it at 400 degrees for 2 hours, cannot guarantee a dry, effective, or safely handled result. Only attempt regeneration when the calcium chloride manufacturer provides a suitable procedure, and you have dedicated, compatible, non-food equipment with ventilation and protective gear. For most households, replacing the spent material responsibly is simpler and safer. The reusable advantage comes mainly from keeping the outer container and buying correctly labeled material in economical quantities, not from promising that one batch will last forever. This passive absorber works best in small, enclosed spaces where air movement is limited: a closet, cabinet, pantry, storage locker, boat compartment, or camper. There, slow moisture removal can help reduce odors, condensation, and corrosion without noise or electricity. It becomes less effective as the space grows or humid air constantly enters. One container cannot control an open basement with doors and windows opening all day. Adding more containers increases capacity, but it does not create the airflow or removal of a powered dehumidifier. Remember the distinction. This tool is for damp air, not standing water. If walls feel wet, paint bubbles, carpet remains soaked, or water appears after rain, check for plumbing leaks, foundation seepage, or condensation on cold pipes. Fix the source first. Otherwise, the crystals will collect water while new moisture keeps replacing it. A powered dehumidifier is better when humidity remains high, mold is spreading, or materials must be dried quickly after a leak. It moves air, removes water faster, and may drain continuously. Both methods can work together. Use powered equipment for heavy drying, ventilation when outdoor air is suitable, and passive calcium chloride afterward to protect enclosed corners. The right tool is not always the cheapest. It is the smallest safe tool that reliably solves the actual moisture problem. There is still a valuable lesson inside those disposable tubs. The chemistry is not secret, and the plastic package is not magic. What you often pay extra for is convenience, a measured dose, spill-resistant housing, branding, and discarding everything when the crystals are spent. Convenience has value, but once you understand the design, you can decide whether that value justifies buying a new container each time. A durable housing combined with correctly labeled replacement material may reduce both refill costs and plastic waste. Make the comparison honestly. Record the weight of calcium chloride used, its price, how long it lasts, and how much brine it collects. Compare that with a refill or disposable tub of similar capacity. Prices vary by country, season, purity, and package size. So a claim like 40 pounds for $4 should not be treated as universal. Include hidden costs. A homemade unit that spills onto wood, corrodes tools, or reaches a pet is not a bargain. Neither is spending more on oven energy and regeneration equipment than replacement material would cost. The goal is not to turn every product into an experiment. It is to understand what you are buying, remove waste, and avoid repeatedly paying for packaging you can safely reuse. Self-reliance is not believing the savings claim. It is measuring the result, respecting the risks, and choosing the simplest system that keeps working. Here is the plan. Choose an enclosed space that smells musty or shows elevated humidity. Measure it with a hygrometer and check for leaks. If the problem is lingering moisture rather than incoming water, place a 2-chamber calcium chloride absorber inside a secondary tray, away from children, pets, metal, and finished surfaces. Record the humidity, temperature, and date. Inspect the reservoir regularly, then compare readings over the next week. If humidity falls and remains in a range, the system is working. If it stays high, do not keep adding salt blindly. Improve ventilation, reduce the moisture source, or use a powered dehumidifier. Remember what this experiment proves. Calcium chloride can be an effective, electricity-free absorber for enclosed spaces. It does not dry every room, last forever, or repair a leaking building. The useful trick is understanding the ingredient, building a reusable holder, and measuring the result instead of trusting a disposable package. Tell me in the comments where you would test this first. A closet, boat, camper, pantry, or tool cabinet. If you have tried calcium chloride, share your humidity, reading, climate, and how long the pellets lasted. Those details can help viewers. Next time, we will examine ventilation, drainage, and building techniques that control moisture before an absorber is needed. For more repairs, forgotten methods, and products tested without the marketing fog, subscribe to Buried Fixes and turn on notifications. We will keep uncovering what works, what fails, and what is worth doing yourself.